Once upon a time, in a grand and beautiful castle, there lived a little princess. She was kind and lovely, but she could also be a little spoiled. She loved to play in the royal gardens, where a sparkling fountain stood. One day, while tossing her golden ball in the air, she missed her catch, and the ball tumbled into the deep waters of the fountain. The princess gasped and peered into the fountain, but the water was too deep for her to see the bottom. Just as she was about to cry, a small voice croaked, "Why are you so sad, princess?" Startled, she looked around and saw a small green frog sitting on a lily pad. "Oh, it's you! My golden ball has fallen into the fountain, and I cannot get it back," she exclaimed. The frog tilted his head and said, "I can retrieve your ball, but what will you give me in return?" The princess wrinkled her nose. What could a frog possibly want? Jewels? Gold? A royal feast? The frog shook his head. "No, I want none of those things. I ask for only one promise. Let me be your companion. Let me eat with you, sit beside you, and sleep in your room." The princess hesitated but thought, "He's just a frog. He won't follow me home." So she smiled sweetly and said, "Yes, I promise. Now, please, get my ball." The frog dove into the fountain with a splash and moments later resurfaced with the golden ball. He placed it on the edge of the fountain. The princess grabbed it joyfully and, without another word, ran back to the castle, forgetting all about the little frog. That evening, as she dined with her father, the king, a strange sound echoed through the grand hall. Plip, plop, plip, plop. A servant opened the door, and to the princess's horror, there sat the frog. "Princess, you made me a promise," the frog croaked. The king raised an eyebrow. "What is the meaning of this?" The princess reluctantly explained the story. The king, wise and just, nodded. "A promise must be kept, my dear. You must let him dine with you." Unhappily, the princess placed the frog on the table. He ate from her golden plate and drank from her silver cup. When dinner was over, the frog yawned and said, "Now, take me to your room." The princess turned pale, but her father gave her a stern look. She scooped up the frog and carried him to her chambers. She placed him gently in a corner, hoping he would sleep there. But the frog croaked, "I wish to sleep on your silk pillow." "No, that is too much," the princess cried. The frog gazed at her with sad eyes. "You promised." With a deep sigh, she placed him on the pillow beside her. As she lay down, she muttered, "I wish you were just a handsome prince instead of a horrid frog." And at that moment, poof! A swirl of golden magic filled the room. The princess gasped as she saw the frog grow, his green skin fading, his webbed feet transforming. Before her stood a handsome little prince with kind eyes and a golden crown. "Thank you, dear princess," he said. "A wicked witch cast a spell upon me, and only the kindness of a true promise could break it. Because you kept your word, I am free." The princess blushed, feeling ashamed for treating him poorly. "I am sorry I was unkind to you," she said softly. The little prince smiled. "You have a good heart, and you have learned kindness. Will you allow me to be your friend?" The princess nodded, and from that day forward, they became the best of friends. In time, friendship blossomed, years passed, and one day grand celebrations are arranged for their marriage. They ruled wisely and happily ever after.